Now we're going to almost the eastern side of the park, near the von Lindequist entrance gate, where the Fort Namutoni is. Namutoni is the most historic place in Etosha National Park, and you will find a pristine white fort in the camp. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, it's under renovations. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. They used to have a lot of facilities, restaurant, bar, inside the fort. And back in the days when I started going to Etosha, you used to be able to sleep in the fort. They had the rooms, but that was when tourism was very small. There was like 9 rooms. And that was all there was to stay in Namutoni at that time. So they renovated the fort, tidied it all up, and had it as recreation with bar, restaurant, shops. But that's closed, and I'm not sure what they're doing with it. So you can go and walk through the fort. There's a deck you can sit on. There's a tower you could look at with a little bit of history inside the tower, sunset tower and a sunset deck. But there's nothing else actually happening in the fort itself. But it's worth a walk around, especially during the heat of the day. It's really beautiful to walk. It's quite shady, some trees in there. In terms of accommodation at Namutoni, there is bush chalets and rooms and campsites. That's it. It's not as big as Okakweo, and I don't think it has as many rooms even as Halali. Again, all the rooms are, well, let's start with the rooms. I've done it a different way around, haven't I? Anyway, let's start with the rooms. There's rows of rooms, 4 rows of rooms, all well equipped, beautifully nice and roomy inside. These are actually, unlike Okakweo and Halali, where they've converted old rooms, these were purpose-built rooms. So they're big, spacious rooms, aircon, bathrooms, indoor and outdoor shower, which a lot of the others don't have, kettle, tea and coffee provided, a mini fridge, which you put your own drinks, they don't provide drinks, electricity 24/7, it's on mains, Halalias as well if I didn't mention that, and very comfortable rooms. And you've even actually got a little sitting area outside, which is semi-private. They put sort of like reeds around it, so you're not open to your neighbours. You can sit there by yourself, but you can look at them through the fence if you want to. And the rooms are halfway between, they're right beside the restaurant and close to the swimming pool. And again, you can't park at the rooms, you park at the end and walk down to your room. So that's the rooms, they're very nice. Behind them, in a block which you can't drive into again, you can just park in a parking area and take your bags, are the chalets. They are a bit bigger, I think there's some 2-bedroom, so 2 and 4 sleepers. They have their own area, deck for sitting outside. Again, equipped with aircon, comfy beds, good linen, a fridge, kettle, ensuite bathroom. And they're spaced out a little more. You've all got a chalet, your own private area, and they're not connected to another chalet. So if you want a bit more privacy and a bit more space, they're very nice options. They're a little bit further away from everything as well, and nothing goes through them to go there. So you're not going to get people walking through the area to get to the restaurant or the swimming pool. But it's quite close to the swimming pool. 5 minutes, 6-7 minutes to the restaurant. Then behind all of those, you've then got the campsite, which I've just reorganised recently, mostly, depending on the time of year and weather allowing, rain allowing I should say, is a nicely grassed campsite. It's got some grass and some shady trees. So in terms of camping, inside the park is one of the nicest campsites inside Etosha National Park. Although the location isn't as good as Oliphant's Rust, because it doesn't have the nice hide in it. The actual camping site is nice, it's generally grassed, it's fenced off, electric point, braai point, light, water, ablutions blocks, cleaned every day, and again, like an Okakweo, has the advantage of being at the far fence. So you actually often get animals coming around the fence. Namutoni also has a waterhole that you can see 24/7 with a viewing point from inside the camp, but it's not near anything. So Namutoni has developed through the years. So you've got the fort, and the viewing point is actually beyond the fort to the left-hand side of the camp. And all the camp facilities and accommodation are to the right-hand side of the fort over here. So it means the viewing point is really nice and quiet, because from pretty much everywhere it's a 10 to 15 minute walk from anywhere to the viewing point. So a lot of people don't bother to go there, especially if they've been out driving all day, they're tired, like to get an early night, but you can still sit there all night. Oh, something I forgot to mention for the camp. Oh, I have to recap on this. Obviously you've got a restaurant, a bar, little shop, the reception area, swimming pool, all in the camp. What I forgot to mention for Halali and Okakwayo as well as Namutoni, there's also a petrol station. So you can buy fuel, unleaded and diesel, at the petrol stations. Dolomite and Oliphant's Rust do not have a shop or fuel. So when you're coming in from the Western Park and you're doing that long journey across, there is no fuel supplies at Dolomite or Oliphant's Rust. But there is at Okakwayo and Halali and Namutoni. They have a petrol station. So I think I've covered Namutoni. So one more to go for camps inside Etosha National Park.